Hi everyone, welcome to Reality Bites podcast. I am the one and only Lauren CPT, your host, and I'm joined by my two beautiful co-hosts,
Lucian,
Boy Marlon Patrick.
and today we are going to bite on something really hot. Stay tuned. Our guest that we have today is a South African lifesaver, fitness guru, presenter, and actor. And he's hot. Oh my God. Welcome, Mr. Ryle De Morny. Hello, Ryle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, and you, Ryle?
Fantastic, thank you for having me.
It's a lovely seeing you in person. Like, I've always seen all the pictures of you and all that. But it's the first time I see you in a shirt, so by the way.
We're also here, right? We're also here. It's a one-way situation.
I thought I'd go
block them.
formal for this prestigious occasion where I also get to finally meet two people. One of you I already know, fortunately. That's a debatable term.
You say fortunately. You say fortunately.
Debatable. But the two of you I've definitely seen online, heard so many incredible things about you. And more
from me.
importantly, for me, it's a principle that I feel your energy. So that's what I'm grateful for, and also your time. And thank you for having me.
And thank you for being here. So, Ryle, I believe you are the fastest man on sand.
What?
Now, the thing that first comes to mind is like, Ryle,
Baie groot
waar
geraak.
jy groot geraak?
Weet jy gejaag?
Ryle, as jy miskien van die del van die baie
My suburban. The sun.
I got some blessings from, I think, both the parents and the grandparents. Look, my grandma is from like Q-Town, obviously in Athlone, and I think in one of those courts that you used to play around in every day when I used to go visit and half being looked after by them. I definitely got some of my talents and my skills there.
Half being looked after.
Yeah, you know, you get posted down between your aunt and your mom because the parents are hustling. So I was really grateful to have that, let's call it multifaceted exposure to life.
Love that.
You see, that's why we're in the shirt today.
Wonderful.
We're
I didn't
formal.
even know you grew up in Q-Town, so that's very interesting.
Not predominantly. I was brought up in Heathfield with my parents, but obviously most of the time that I did have spending with cousins and family was Bridgetown, Q-Town, that side of life.
Please enlighten us about it. Like, tell us where you came from, etc., where you grew up, what schools you like went to. Tell us your life story.
Your life journey.
My life journey. Oh, we're going way back.
Let's
Fade
go.
the blue. Yeah, so no, H-Town, Heathfield, they call it like, some people say lower, some people say upper retreat. It's also debatable. But Heathfield is where I was like, kind of born and raised, and genuinely was also half raised by both my mother and ma and aunts and everything else, which is, I think, a normal thing for people from our sort of culture.
True.
Takes a village, and it is something I'm absolutely grateful for. And I think later on we can talk about how that external influence impacted me later in life. But the humble beginnings, you know what I mean? Like coming from predominantly colored household, and then being one of the very few and first kids, I think, with this color scheme to go to a Model C school.
Wow.
1994, Sub A. If you remember
Sub A,
that,
yeah,
I'm giving away my
yeah.
age here. I don't know if you
were
guys
Sub
know
A.
what Sub A even is, but yeah, for us peeps over 30, I guess. It's
Over
grade
40,
one.
over 40.
Oh, please.
Joking.
Come on. This is not over 40.
Yeah, definitely not. You're still a teenager. aren't you?
Borderline, under 40.
But yeah, man, it was incredible for me to come from what I think was very humble beginnings, and I didn't have much, but everything I did have, I made the most of, and I think that's something I've been true to myself in being able to carry through with me in life, and I think that's a big principle of mine, is making the most of whatever you have, and I think coming from that, I think everything else is just purely a blessing, and you go through life just being absolutely grateful. And there's been a lot of crazy things that have happened, but I think my childhood was predominantly just being exposed to a lot of playing cricket in the road with the bin.
We all did, yeah.
A BMX, a skateboard, or borrowing a friend's because you maybe couldn't afford it or you weren't lucky enough to get it as a present for Christmas. And much of that rough and tough sort of upbringing, which again I'm absolutely grateful for. When I look back on it now, I'm glad I didn't have an iPad in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't have these modern day distractions to disconnect me from the
We were
real...
street kids.
Yeah,
Ons
like,
padkinders, ja.
Street,
Padgespeel.
not
Yeah.
street. Street kids. We played barefoot in the street. And one thing, did you also grow up with the crate, the log, and then the shopping mall trolleys?
oh yeah,
Yes.
you
And it was all a bungee. We grew up like that.
in retreat, I actually still see that to this day, and I smile to myself.
It's
That's
real
amazing.
occasions, but we grew up like that.
That and there was like this is a weird one, but in like some of the open fields, because there wasn't such a thing as a jungle gym back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd have like a mattress folded in half.
Yes.
You'd learn how to do
Yes.
Bomalakis. Now, guys, it's called Bomalakis.
Yeah, I call it Bomalakisi, but yeah, I was maybe a bit more posh than you. I play. Listen, I've learned not to throw shade at this guy.
No, throw shade. Throw shade.
He is
King of shade.
always open.
Throw shade.
Don't ever come for him.
As I'm gathering myself, you know.
I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm not stirring
I
anything.
do not accept it.
You see, I learned as a street kid as well.
I do not
mess with
accept
kids like this.
That's what the ELs people.
Yeah.
Yo, you see, they were on another level out there.
I do not accept.
So yeah, I think for me, let's say pre-primary school, there was a lot of that. A lot of the stuff I think a lot of us can resonate with. Being rough, getting knocked on the road, in the pavements, losing teeth, falling off a seesaw if you did get to a jungle gym, playing all sorts of sports, angle, you name it. And I think that is what was also the key to unlocking my physical ability, which is something I truly rooted myself in. And especially when I got to like primary school. Like I said, I was one of the first kids to get into Model C school. And for me, that was wild because now you're like meeting people and kids of different, like, firstly for me, not color, because I didn't see color ever really, actually, to be honest with you. I just saw different types of like ways of being. And when I became friends with some of these kids in school, and you see how they speak to their parents and stuff, you're like, yo, like this is it. I will get Lucy, you know what I mean? So that was wild to me, to be exposed at a young age to all these different cultures, which I think, firstly, weirdly enough, almost taught me to like just learn that there is this variety in the world and you need to respect that. But I think initially, before coming into a space like this, was also maybe my downfall, because I wanted to please, be, and fit into everybody's circle. Wherever you go, you want to be that crowd pleaser and be friends with everybody. I think we all kind of, when we're growing up, seek that approval or a way to fit in, because I think through my upbringing, you don't really realize who you are when you have such a mixed influence. All this like Model C school that I went to, Berkeley Primary School, Model C now, lekker, Jay, you made it. And now,
Bourgeois.
yeah, you know what I mean, bourgeois. Now it's like meeting these different cultures and stuff, but then also you get caught up in that. You get thrown into all these different circles and you're absorbing as you go. And I feel like it's overwhelming you. You're learning a lot, but at the same time, who are you at the end of the day? And that became a big journey for me for most of, I think, towards the end of primary school onwards and even to varsity. And that was crazy times, So to answer that question,
So what was a highlight for me of your bio is that you went to the University of Cape Town, correct?
Yeah.
And you have your Bachelor of Commerce, right? And just a BCom General degree.
Yeah.
Right?
Why?
Yes.
And
Why
did I torture myself like that, guys?
we are BCom people, so I just generalized.
Yeah, but look, you guys all, I mean, tertiary education is something that is a massive undertaking, and I might need a drink there.
No, yes.
Thank you, guys. And cheers, gentlemen, and everybody else.
Let's go, my guys.
Thank you very much. Cheers, all there. So, very nice. So,
that was planned. No, I'm joking. That was not planned.
No, but genuinely, I think, sorry, to answer your question even before about the fastest man on sand, and I will get to that. And I think just just to repeating what you asked me again. Sorry, what was it?
Your
BCom.
BCom degree.
Yeah, I think it's more than just a BCom. It was again tying into what I was saying earlier about pleasing other people. Now, I come from an upbringing where my dad is old school, hard as bricks. No real like connection there as a kid. My mother, on the other hand, was where the emotion came from, and she was the anxiety. She couldn't even watch me compete when I was doing life saving. But this was a woman that always constantly believed in me. She believed I was special, I was going to do something great. She would shout it in the kitchen while cooking, and I believed her. I genuinely believed her. I did not doubt it for a second.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of what my parents would tell me, and I would want to make them proud, as we naturally would in our upbringing as well, is do what they say. And often that's go to school, do your homework, go get a degree. I didn't work this hard to get you through to this situation. And I think from high school already, I genuinely hated school. I hate the concept of being graded on your intelligence and your genius based on a bloody test. Like the fact that you can memorize and regurgitate, and Lucian can tell you, I can't memorize word for word. I can do it in my own words. I'm good at that. But now, does that make me dumb? Because I can't learn this textbook and
Freedom is
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that was tough for me to actually go through, not realizing the frustration, and then still listening to my mother and my parents and taking their advice and pushing myself through something I actually hated. And that was a degree. Started off as business science. I was going to be like one of the guys in possibly, I reckon, like a commerce, like a proper commerce side of things where we were going to go into tax or something like that. And it was because it was success. My mother said this was success. Everybody's telling you success. Get a degree, get a job, make money, you'll be
But
successful.
that's the old school mentality back in the day
Exactly.
where
You have to
you have to get. They think school will get you somewhere. I know people that's millionaires that didn't finish school.
Exactly. But that was the mentality back in the day because our parents didn't have those opportunities.
Yes.
So they wanted you to have those opportunities, and that's why they enforced it upon us. Like, you have to get your degree. You have to study.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and they did it, and it worked for them.
Yes.
That system worked well. I think nowadays, though, with this incredible world we live in, you all realize what you can do to sustain yourself, how much more pleasure in life you can get by, I call it your ikigai, finding that purpose, that reason for being. It's something I'll definitely touch on a little bit later.
Hi. Sign up right here. I'm joking.
But yeah, pleasing my parents all the way to torturing myself for 3-4 years. I remember failing one of the first MAM 1000s, just jawling and getting caught up in the scene, trying to balance this torture. You know how it is. And I think realizing thereafter, even studying that, thinking, okay, I'm successful now. Where's the holes that are going to be filled? Oh, wait, you need to get a job. Okay, cool, get a job. I got a great job. I was making money. You guys making like great money. I worked my way in. I got
No, you got to say work. Where did you work? You don't have to say the name, but what did you do?
So I worked with a below-the-line marketing agency that was handling like really like most of your beverages at the time, and
There's a safe
logistics.
Yeah.
So back then there wasn't really social media. It was like, I think, MySpace only at the time. I just graduated.
And mix it.
Mix it. ASL. So I was an account manager for a job, and my job was to invite like famous people to parties. I threw an event on the Nautilus yacht at the Bay Hotel back at the day, back then, and like there wasn't really anything other than like these networking agencies and PR companies, and that was about it. So I would reach out to them, chat to these people, meet these famous people. I was like a plug. My friends were like, yo, you the coolest guy ever. Liquor, cool, buying clothes, looking the part. Famous people, I wear liquor, Jay. But like, guys, I wasn't happy. There was no holes being filled. Like,
There was no passion, there was no ambition, nothing.
I didn't realize that at the time, Lucian.
But that's good.
Yes, at the time I was just like
You
frustrated.
didn't realize it.
I was like angry. I'm like, but look here, I have everything that you think is successful. I listened to my parents. I went and studied. I got the degree. I feel like I've gotten to this point and I've just wasted time.
But that's good
Why am I
because
so angry?
You had to go through that process. Like that's what I'm saying. That's good because not a lot of people don't realize that afterwards.
But did you feel empty? Like, that was the feeling you
100%. I
felt
thought all
empty.
these things would fill holes. I thought buying clothing would fill holes. Buying a car will fill this hole. Getting more money. Now I just need twice as much. Cool. Get things, get a place, Nah, it didn't do anything. If anything, it made the holes bigger.
Yeah.
Now, how confused am I now in this moment
Yeah.
thinking, oh, but my parents said I trusted, my friends, everybody, society is telling me this. But yet, here's me, half depressed. I don't know what depression is at the time, but like dealing with this whole like emptiness, like what on earth?
Yeah.
And crazy enough, at this very moment, and I'm still in a deep relationship, long-term relationship at this time, one thing that pulled me out of this was this passion I had for life-saving and moving. Okay, I was always a kid that would move. I loved sport and I loved running. Unfortunately, at Berkeley High School, they didn't have track, so I never got exposed to track running. One of the biggest, not my biggest regrets, because I will never regret anything, but I did other sports, got provincial colors in like hockey, rugby, etc. But like,
Iko also
yeah, you know what I mean?
Guys, just a quick thing. Ryle said now that he's moving. He like to move. I can dance.
I don't believe it.
Ryle,
I don't believe that.
I
I
had
don't
to.
believe
You see,
that.
I'm getting him back.
Come to the
see,
dancing.
We can run. We do all the things. I can dance.
We'll get to the dance thing later. We can talk about that. I'll tell you there's a reason why. Just
We're gonna play
pencil
some
that one in.
music.
I'll explain to you what that's all about. But listen, like as long story short, the thing that dragged me out of this hole was, like Lucian says, that I like moving. Not dancing, yes. Moving, and moving in the form of sport. And it was the one thing that I was doing at the time that was drawing my focus, stimulating me, and giving me some sort of return on investment. But I needed to focus on it. I was trying to make like SA team and represent the country and do these crazy things at the time. And I realized that I needed to get serious about this thing. And apart from everything else going on and all these empty holes, this thing was one thing that was filling a hole and stimulating me. And I was passionately going back and wanting to learn, be humbled, get beaten, conquer, work on this thing, that constant like consistency and paying all that energy into something. And I think that thing for me was what pulled me out of it, because weirdly enough, at the time I was preparing for, this is crazy, preparing for world champs, okay? It's like leading up to 2014 in France. I'm trying to achieve something that no South African has ever done here. I want to achieve double gold at world champs. Happens every 2 years, okay? I realized that I want to get training and get serious. And in this moment of me working and doing all this stuff, I approached a friend of mine, Robbie Stemmet, shout out, that I went to school with, that had actually dropped out of his degree that he was studying to follow his passion, which was just welding and fabricating and creating. So I tuned Robbie, I'm like, I see this piece of equipment that I think I need to train for an event in lifesaving. And it's only available online. And I look at the price of this, and like the poor man in me is always like, nah, I can hustle this somewhere. I know someone, we make a plan. You tell her what you must.
That's a color thing,
You know what I mean?
A special Julia?
Yeah. And I'm grateful for that. We find value in every moment. You know what it is? So I eventually get to this point where I approach Robbie and I say, listen, you're making these, he's starting off in the garage and he's building gates and welding and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool, dude. Like, I see you welding. Can you build this piece of equipment? It's the same material, different shape. He's like, yeah, cool. Kif, let's do it. Let's build it. He builds this thing. I train with this thing. It's freaking awesome. It's amazing. It's never been done in South Africa, really. It is overseas. And I see the value in this thing and how you can utilize it to improve your movements, to get faster, to get stronger. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I tell a buddy of mine this. He's like, bro, I've got a buddy that's got a gym, and he possibly want to buy one or two of these pieces of equipment. I'm like, cool. Go pitch it to them. Owner's like, cool, I'll take 4. What? Hey, now.
That's
Now
when everything sparked for you.
But hey,
business.
what just happened? My passion that I chased and made materialize into something is now something I can share with other people and sustain myself. Whoa, this is incredible. I didn't know at the time, but this was my ikigai.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Now I'm looking at work and I'm looking at this and I'm like, this feeling is what I want.
Yeah.
This.
Got to go.
How do I get here? How do I?
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do, and I just jumped. I jumped and I was like, I don't care, I'm just gonna quit my job. And I quit everything at the time, maybe not everything that I should have. I quit the relationship even, and I quit everything.
Clean slate. Clean slate, yeah. Clean
Man,
slate.
idiot, but naive at the time, and
Now we're glad you did.
jumped through this threshold.
Lawrence, he paid me to say that. Yes.
Jump through this threshold of fear that I think we all have a moment of where we are afraid to be ourselves, to realize our potential, to really jump into our moment. And you know what I'm talking about. We all get that point.
Yes.
That moment
100%.
before you guys sat together and decided to have a podcast was that line, that what made you cross that threshold, there was a
Yes.
why. You needed to have that, right? And for me, it was obviously achieving a result and also getting out of this hole and this depression. And I quit everything and I was like, okay, I'm just going to push this. I moved back home to my parents. I put my tail between my legs.
Yeah.
And that's a difficult thing to do from our place where it's like, that's like failure now. You know, you're going home,
Exactly.
back to your parents in your old room, and now you got the rules again.
And
Mensa, that is incentive.
Now we've all been. I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
Like, what do you even say? What do you even say to your parents? Like when you make a decision like that? Like,
You know what I said? I didn't want to admit failure.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, I have a plan. I want you to can you help me do this instead?
Yeah.
And I kind of explained what was going on. And I think that honesty for me was a breaking point that I realized I should have been honest way more often with my parents.
Yeah.
I should have had way more of a close relationship with him. But we live and we learn. And I think that was a big turning point for me that unlocked this ability to realize that you can take something from here, you can make any idea materialize, anything is possible.
Yeah.
And through fabricating gym equipment, I started a company. I realized this crazy potential of, wow, anything is literally possible. And look where we all are.
Exactly, and that machine basically that you built led you to being the fastest man on the sand. Tell us that story. I would love to know that.
Crazy. So, I mean, especially for an athlete in South Africa, it's not something that you get to sustain when it comes to sport. I mean, there's maybe like 3 sports, if even, I mean, at my heyday as well, where you could sustain yourself.
Yeah.
Soccer, cricket, rugby, that's pretty much it.
True.
Everything else, I'm telling you now, and shout out to every South African out there that has sacrificed and done the most to represent our country. But you go through a lot, eh? Guys, I go to France, Montpellier, 2014, and also this was a crazy turning point again because a high and a low came in this moment. But I was training, working with his equipment, and from running on sand, being timed on sand, and then eventually going to do 2 events in life-saving. There's a plethora of events in life-saving. You paddle, you swim, you sprint on the sand, which is one of my specialties. You know, our main sim was, it's a straight sprint on the sand, on the beach, and then there's also something called beach flags. It's short, powerful, turn, quick decision making, and it's elimination rounds. Imagine there's 4 of us and only 3 beers, and we're gonna die for a beer.
Oh, I'll get it.
And every time one gets eliminated like musical chairs until there's 1 beer left and
I'll
only
get
one
it.
person can grab that thing.
Fire doors.
You should have done flags. You would have been a great lifeguard, Lucian.
It sounds like more of an obstacle course that you have to go through, or is it just straight running the whole time?
It is a very so the whole idea behind
quick,
this
fast
event
burst,
is
not
testing
running.
lifeguards' ability to think quick on your feet. You have a 20-meter course. There's about 100 of guys or less, depending on the event, that come down at the end of the day, and you're lying away from the flag, face down on the beach, and the competitor and the judge goes, "Competitors ready?" Heads down, and there's absolute silence. You wait, and the whistle goes, and you just have to get up, run, and grab one of those flags before everyone else. And there's barging,
insane.
there's fighting. It's crazy.
I'm thinking
It's
about that
wild.
movie. Is it about what's his name?
Hunger Games.
No man, the lifeguard thing, Zac Efron's movie, where they did.
Oh, Baywatch.
Baywatch, yeah,
They did all that training and stuff like that. It's like
Pretty much like
kinda,
that,
but
because
a bit more
remember,
hectic.
as a lifeguard, what you're doing at the end of the day is training to be able to save someone's life in almost any situation. You don't have a dead-on situation where every time I'm going to save you like this, you get caught in the rocks, on a boat, submerged. It doesn't matter. You need to be competent in all spheres.
No, but that part of the movie, like The Rock and Zack, are busy. Oh no. Tight training. That was a both.
Yeah, that's like movie training.
To get into being a lifeguard, basically.
Pretty
It's like
much,
basic training.
yeah.
Okay.
So this
But
is beyond
yes,
that.
and then
So I get this. I go to the event. I'm in France. Crazy things happen. I muster up the courage. I win double gold. I win the sprints event against like 80 odd countries in the world, and against 200 odd competitors. It whittled down to 1, and I'm the guy that gets that flag.
Wow.
Amazing.
Pause moment.
Fastest man
Pause.
ever. History's made.
How was that feeling?
Unbelievable. I don't know how to honestly describe it. It's there's very few things that can relate to a moment like that is so many years of sacrifice, of injury, of money spent, of doubt, of going against the grain to prove not only everybody else, but when yourself right.
Yeah.
That's hard. Not anyone wrong. Prove yourself right, because you all know what you believe in when it comes to yourself. But to God and prove yourself right, that's hard.
Yeah.
And to have a moment of validation, wow,
the
that is so
sacrifices you've
empowering.
made.
Yeah.
It's so empowering.
Yeah.
It is what made me believe that I can do anything. And then that was the moment where I
love
thought
that.
I was invincible. Weirdly enough, I was humbled very quickly after that, because I grabbed the scooter after being in France, celebrating, went to go to all the way to Monaco, end up being, as I reached Monaco, boat show, fantastic, living there, la vida loca. I get hit by a car, injure my knee, torn ACL, not torn ACL, tore my MCL, but not all the way, and I had meniscus damage. Couldn't walk, hospital, there's your career done basically in your mind.
You've had quite a few obstacles regarding this.
And that was like the start
adventures.
of the journey for me. And that was a big moment for me. And I had achieved everything, and I had been presented this opportunity to walk away, or do you try come back and take everything you've learned and try do more, come back stronger?
So Ryle, no, go for
I
it.
just have one question about this.
Right,
whole
four questions.
So do you run bare feet when you do this?
Yes.
As jy staan die warm hier, Ryle, brand
It
jy voete
is,
nie?
yeah, it does. But you know, now you understand. This is where our childhood advantages come back. Now you must understand where our talents come from. You tell me now, any man. I've seen talent in our country, but our talent is above and beyond because of those things we were talking about earlier. From where we come from,
Yeah.
we are made and built differently, and I really
Exactly.
truly mean that. And you all know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
100%.
We were street kids.
Yeah, we were tested.
Now we are street.
For the streets.
Okay, so Ryle, you have your lifeguard career.
Yeah.
That's still going. So then here comes the media world. What made you decide to go into media, specifically presenter search?
I know, because that moment of unlocking, that moment of realizing, okay, I now am on this block where I believe I can do anything I put my mind to, bring on the challenges. The company was starting to go incredibly well. I started jumping in front of the camera to start selling this gym equipment and presenting this equipment, and realizing that when you're passionate about something and you're just natural about it, it's really simple. I'm enjoying this actually. I can be me and really get my message across in a very pertinent and communicative way. This is really cool. Okay, presenter search comes through, and I'm like, well, I've got an opportunity to do this thing. I was in Joburg at the time.
Yes.
Let's just pull through. Alyssa
Yeah.
Connolly, I was visiting as a friend. We were still training. She was helping with some speed work. We were doing this training camp at
Cousin of Leanne Williams.
small world.
Small
So
world, huh?
I'm at a place with the parents and stuff as well. We're chowing down, and I'm like, listen, you think you can maybe actually take me to presenter search? Like, because I've just come from this training with her. She's an Olympian, guy. She's
Yes.
incredible. Wow, shout out to
It's
Alyssa.
amazing.
And again, you know, when you're around and surround yourself with people like this that are like-minded, you really are like on another buzz. Your momentum's crazy. So I'm like, listen, we get on a conversation. I ask if she can drop me at presenter search. I'm literally one of the last people there. Literally one of the last people there. And there starts this journey where I realized that without any media training, without having even watched TV, the skill set I learned as a youngster, the exercises I had been forcibly going through unintentionally, where I'm training and preparing for these moments where a race lasts a few seconds, that is pressure. When you go to world champs and you spend all your money and money you don't have, and I bet on myself winning just to make my money back. That's risk. That's putting pressure on yourself. When you deal with a moment like that, being in front of a camera on TV is actually not that bad. It's actually a lot easier, because you realize that all you need to do is use that same method that you used and apply it everywhere else in life. What do you
was your
do?
thought process while doing presenter search?
Yeah, because I
For the
realized
judges.
I realized already in the moment, I can't boof this mensa. I can't lie to them and be like, hi, my name is Michael Mole, and welcome to... That's taken a few years to get to that point, but now I can only be myself. So let me just try this thing, because I can't compete with Cheapers, Creepers, Harmony, Catalundi, we've got Fizz, we've got Tapiso. We had so many incredible people in my presenter search here. I'm like, I can't beat this. I've got to be something else. I've got to be different. I can only be me. Luckily, that was something that I learned being in training, moving as an athlete, be present. That was something that I just tried to always be.
Oh, we viewed your
Be
tape though.
present.
I mean, the good looks help.
Exactly. And my mom
Look,
said,
we had to utilize some of
No,
the.
I was into that. But I was like, but you're ashy, you know.
Hey, to my day,
Lucian.
Lucian's still on me about his ashiness, ashy knees, but thank you, I'm
When
grateful.
his son.
I think that mindset brought you to a lot of things, like within the media world, etc. Like, for example, my favorite, your role in on Netflix, Blood and Water. Raak ek nog steeds in my mond, laat baie daar by. Ek sê die Here is my advocate, die Here is my advocate, maar die man, thank you, Lucian. I needed that.
But yeah, Coach Shed was
Yes,
crazy.
how was that experience on there? Like,
Oh my word, again, like it just seems like life is like this, like just jump, get thrown in the deep end, no acting experience, only being on Presenter Search, and prior to that, no experience again. What else can I do? Let's just be present.
Yeah.
So overwhelming, trying to
They're
juggle.
victorious for by inexperience.
Yeah.
But in learning experience in the moment. A lot of people don't get opportunities like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
No, Lucian, 100%. You don't get these opportunities,
don't.
Marlon. And I'm thinking to myself, what else can I do now? I'm not an actor. I can't pretend to be. Okay, let me just be present in this moment. And I realized the lines weren't as important as the blocking and the facing the camera and the beats and the counts. And I was like, wow, Presenter Search, being a presenter helped me with that technical ability.
Yeah.
I had no acting ability, but I could be present. And luckily, I think the directors had great casting. It was a role that wasn't too far-fetched for some reasons, not all of them. But like Lucian says, when you get an opportunity, take it.
Take it.
Jump, grab it,
Yeah.
and ride that wave. If anything like nature has taught me and something that fuels me is when you're on a
why
wave.
does everything sound like what Raul's saying? I'm singing.
It's your
What other
turn.
stuff?
It's your turn, ride the
Like,
wave
grab
and
it.
don't stop, make the most of it.
Yeah.
And I think and like listening to your like whole tale is like you can literally see that person come to life every time you see someone's picture. So sometimes when you look at someone's pictures, right, you can like literally pick up, okay, this person is trying or whatever. But in your pictures,
He's always naked.
you know. But besides the fact that it's like, I'm just speaking about his face. You can see the happiness when you're in nature. You can see the happiness in your face when you're surfing, when you're running, whatever you're doing that's active. I can see, and I understand now why you say you like moving. Moving, you know what I mean? And that shines through, and that's what we pick up from my perspective, because I'm the viewer. Ek is 'n groot fan van jou. Ja, altyd.
Fly in the DMs.
Okay, so by the way, Raul was on in what's it, Men's Health, and I still, that was the first time I like put on my story. Don't know if you can remember because it's a clone tag.
On the cover
but
of Men's
anyway,
Health. Yo, what
yes,
a,
Men's
what a
Health.
crazy cover. to
Yo.
get
Exactly. So that's one of the things.
That was a
And
very
then
good
also
cover.
you were on my desk at work. Like literally,
What a
everyone at
honor.
work at high tech,
Wow.
they know. It's like Ryle De
Wow.
Morny. It's Ryle De Morny. Do not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And also the fact that you like hiking and stuff like that. So that really is like, oh, this is the guy. And see, you can see it through the work that you do, like the normal post that you're doing.
Yeah.
You can see it. You love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes about you.
I like that you say that, and that's something I'm trying to bring across. I don't always feel like the mediums that I work on really bring that sentiment across, but you're making me a heart full knowing that you resonate with that, because it's exactly what I'm trying to share beyond the way I look and the physical appearance. If you do look within and beyond that, and I'm hoping that at some point the clickbait, the hook, whatever brings you deeper, and you see what I'm trying to show you is that I want you to move. I want to share. Happiness is best shared. It's such a cliche, but I want you to experience what I'm experiencing right now. The ability to be using a vessel you've been blessed with, right?
Yeah.
To unlock, to stimulate, and to just like feel so free in a moment. There's nothing more beautiful than that. And I want and I encourage everybody out there to go out into a mountain, go out into the ocean, take a dip. You don't have to do anything crazy, but just go disconnect and reconnect with nature and re-empower yourself.
Love that.
Yeah, man, get rooted again. It's something we deserve, we must enrich ourselves with, and it's something I have fueled myself with. It's the only way I can do what I'm doing. It's the only way I can hustle and work on a show with Lucian with his crazy, incredible energy at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, right throughout. Run a gym, be an athlete, share. I have to fill it up somehow. And we all have to find that thing that fills up our cup. For me, I'm so grateful that I found a thing like nature that can do that for me. And in a place like this in Cape Town where we live, people, understatement.
Come on.
More than beauty.
Yeah.
So I can't not be grateful. Knowing that, again, like that men's health cover for me, that was 2 weeks, 3 weeks after dislocating my shoulder at another life-saving event, not being able to now train to look the part and having to go through a very extreme diet, and again, learning the very intricacies of health. And now what I personally do not believe to be health, and not to knock a great brand like Men's Health, but the people you see on the cover of a magazine like that, that's not healthy. They're dehydrated all the time. They are carb depleted. It's not realistic. Like maybe I look a great way because I've been consistently living a certain lifestyle. But if you look at the message and what I'm trying to say here, it is that I'm balancing not only the movement and that moment of play that I think us as adults sometimes forget to do and to find in our crazy, demanding life, but also to just find things that stimulate you within, like feel within as well. So like from diet to hydration to anything else, I have to have balance. Relationships, friendships, you have to have that same sort of vigor, that same sort of like real presence and connection. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You're not being you.
You really touch this thing now.
Actually, I have a question for you quickly now. I know like you've had a flippin' awesome career thus far, right? But do you think, if you could mention one, do you think there's any career highlights in particular that just stands out for you at this point in time?
Your soul-to-soul moment. What stands out for you?
There's obviously various moments along the way, but I think everything that has happened since that moment of Presenter Search, when I think I was standing there, I know I was very close with Fez at the time, and we were really like deep in terms of the connection we had. It was beyond just the smoke and mirrors. I think there was a moment there where you are blessed with this opportunity. You know when that email comes through and it's a yes?
Yes. Oh.
When you get the green light,
Yeah.
that, okay, go ahead, or the money comes in the bank. That moment was being told I've won a role as a presenter on Presenter Search. That was, for me, a moment where I felt like the doors to infinite possibility have now really, truly opened. I'm standing there with my wand, and I'm ready to cast any spell I desire. That moment for me was what stood out the most, and everything that has happened and is happening, this right here is like a prophecy from that point in time. You knew that you were going to meet me at some point in time. We knew we were going to have this chat. There was no other way for this to materialize other than for it to be an idea. And now it's gone to this point of materialization. So stop doubting any mad dream you have. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop believing, because look where we all are right now. And look where we can still go if we don't stop. Like, just destroy that ceiling. Get it out of your sight, I think, and grab onto moments like that, those green light moments, and keep reminding yourself of why you're doing it. And for me, even you just asking me to think back, and I go to that cavity, I'm like, again, I'm like empowered, and I'm like, don't forget you won, bro. Did I deal with you? Keep casting away. Don't forget that crazy kid and the mother that told you are special, because you are. You all are. We all are. You are as well. We just got to be ourselves. We got to be passionate and chase that ikigai. So yeah, that's a great question, actually. I love that. Just to that. Yeah.
Cheers to that. Sipping the truth and stirring perspective. Guys, on that note, that was a good end. Ryle De Morny, friend, colleague, Bessie, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here for Lawrence.
On that though, before you do the final thing, I just want to say that I had this conversation here, like at work today with one of my colleagues, and I was like, something drew me towards this thing that Lucian them. Like there was a reason why Lucian them approached me or Marlon or whatever to be here. To understand that I can only speak about myself, and to sit here and to listen to these stories about your story, about the people that I've heard before. It's so inspiring. It's so uplifting. So obviously, I'm a huge fan of you. Do you understand? So now I see you in a whole different light. Do you understand? I got to know you a little bit better. And now you're not only someone I look up to, but you're one of my role models. So not only body-wise, because that's like something else.
Always be at the worst.
But thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I'm inspired. I'm sure everybody
Oh
else
my
here
gosh.
today is inspired.
If there's anything I took away from this, I'm using my wand tonight.
Let's go, baby. Cast
What
away.
wine? What? So yeah, no, thank you
Very
so
well.
much. Thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. One last question. I don't know if I live here. I tried my best, you guys. The whole
Guys.
show.
Let's wait till the cameras are off.
Until next time, guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Reality Bites podcast, and we love you guys.
Love you
Remember,
guys.
you are enough. You are enough. For the room.
Use
Thanks,
your
Ryle. Yay.
Yo.